The Kansas City Chiefs have a forgotten player on this team, and he's impressing everyone. He impressed me last year. I see so much potential, and this is my pick as the breakout player on this offense. And the receiver that I want to talk about is none other than Taquan Thornton. In a really forgettable year last year, you guys saw what happened. Patrick Mahomes getting hurt, an ineffective passing game to put it mildly, but this is a player that's going to prove to be a major weapon in this offense. And I'm also pretty aware that the Kansas City Chiefs got a bargain because the New England Patriots gave up on this guy way too quickly. He's a deep threat, but I think he's going to be way more than that. And this player that's going to be a major weapon on the offense in Taquan Thornton, Bleacher Report, they agree with me. They believe that he's going to make a quantum leap in 2026. Let's go directly to what Bleacher Report had to say. While Thornton wasn't particularly reliable in 2025, that's fair. He showed a tremendous ceiling as a deep threat. He caught just 19 of 37 targets, but check this out. His average was a super impressive 23.1 yards per reception. That's absolutely huge. We talk about Xavier Worthy being a deep threat on this offense and that we need him to deliver. Taquan Thornton was a second-round draft pick for New England, and these numbers, this impressive 23.1 yard per reception number, absolutely ridiculous. I think this is the guy that might very well take over this receiving core because you also have Rashee Rice proving that he's unreliable, Worthy coming off that injury. And we are looking at a 2022 second-round pick of the New England Patriots. I'm going back to Bleacher Report. Thornton spent part of the 2024 season on Kansas City's practice squad, if you remember. He first got on the field with the Chiefs last year and had a career-best campaign almost immediately. So I don't think it's completely shocking that we're going to see this year 3 breakout. We're looking at before 25. This is before with the Patriots. Career totals of 39 receptions, 389 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Last season, easily bested that. On only 19 receptions, he had 438 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now he's got a full season as a major part of this wide receiver core in Kansas City. He's going to start out with really the de facto number 3 spot on this offense. Now, I think it's going to be kind of a challenge early. Mahomes might not be 100%, might lean on that running game quite a bit with Kenneth Walker in the fold. What a nice pickup that was. Huge upgrade over Pacheco, even though I love Pacheco for you guys. His style of running like he was angry at the ground. So much fun to watch. He's going to have a heyday in Detroit, I believe. But, man, you replace him with Kenneth Walker. I think you're cooking with grease here. And now we've got someone finishing 5th on his team in receiving yards the year prior, like Thornton. So many times the next year they become a major cog of the machine. I think that's fully the reality with Thornton. We're looking at the former second-round pick once again. He has the pedigree, and I think just this second breakout for Thornton after his career year, that's just something that we're going to see here. Joshua Briscoe and Seth Kaiser just discussed that on this week's episode of Only Weird Games podcast on the KC Sports Network, and they really agreed with this as well. And one stat that really stood out to me, we're looking at 438 yards, but he was only thrown to 37 times and brought in just 19 of those. Let's table that. But here's what's really telling. We're talking 368 snaps. That made up 38% of available snaps, and that was over 150 fewer than he received as a rookie in Foxborough. Now we're looking at he got his re-up. Kansas City did reward him for that. I believe he signed an $11 million contract. You can look me up on that. But we're also looking at the Chiefs losing a combined 119 targets, 82 receptions, and 932 yards because Hollywood and Juju are no longer in town. So for better or for worse, Thornton is unquestionably one of the top wide receivers, one of the top 3 wide receivers on this depth chart. And I think he's made the most of the opportunities that he's gotten. He's going to get a lot more. Now we're also looking at chunk yardage. So let's look at that in just a little more detail. He was definitely the go-to man for chunk yardage in the passing game. This chunk yardage passing game, it ranked only 23rd in explosive play rate at 15.14%. But you're looking at this 23.1 yards per catch. You're going to have a healthy Patrick Mahomes, even if he doesn't start the season as the healthy part of this offense. But then you have Justin Fields. Justin Fields can definitely connect on the deep ball. Just look at his work with DJ Moore in Chicago. If he has to start out the season, I think that's a net gain as far as Thornton. He recorded a plus 13% catch rate over expected. Like, that's a stat that's really encouraging. That's from NFL Pro. And then he also is able to line up wide as needed. He can also play in the slant game, but he lined up wide on 62.5% of the time via PFF. That's a big bonus. You've also got a guy with a true NFL build. Great long speed, more than adequate ball tracking, and decent body control. Budding chemistry with Patrick Mahomes. I think we're looking at a really good thing that's getting started here. And then, of course, let's look at the pre-training camp look at the KC wide receiver room. Obviously, you've got Rice and Worthy. They're going to be de facto number 1 and 2. We're going to have Thornton filling in at number 3. He's the wild card here, but I think he's going to break out huge. Behind them, not a lot. You got Jalen Royals. He got tons of catches last year in camp. Didn't really come to fruition during the regular season. Now you've got the draft addition of Cyrus Allen. Really nice skill set. I think it remains to be seen how much he's going to be involved, but he was getting thrown to a ton in preseason practices so far. But I just can't wait to see Thornton burst out on the seam. I think he might end up being the number 1 receiver in this offense. There, I said it. That's how impressed I was with Thornton last year. He needs a little more consistency, a little more chemistry of Patrick Mahomes. I think that's being worked on right now. Andy Reid is cooking up something really nice for this duo. And we'll wait and see, because Xavier Worthy has not lived up to his draft pedigree. And then you've got a similar pedigree, a second-round pick in Taquan Thornton. I think he's going to be the man. We will see. Let's hope that Rashee Rice doesn't do anything ridiculous off the field, that he's going to be fully in the fold and fully healthy as well, because this is very well Kelce's last year. Not a lot of juice catching the ball from the running game. I like that you guys added Demercado. That's not really Kenneth Walker's calling card. We need Taquan Thornton to be the man this year. And enjoy your Sunday. See ya.